Hello, my name is Zusizu or ZZ. I am an artist that used to have this channel for gacha content, but I haven't done that in so long, and I'm hoping that I can make this an art or speed paint channel instead. The real reason I stopped making content is because I got really tired of it. I didn't want to continue because I got really burnt out and stopped because I had a feeling that I had to post if I still had this channel. I'm hoping to not have this mindset this time around and just post when I want to or if there's an art trend that I like. Now, you've read the name of this video. Today I will be designing my OC's family. I've never talked about my characters on the internet before, so I'll give a really quick rundown. My OC Faye is basically the main character. He's from a world that's like heaven, full of demigods. There are 3 ranks of demigods: the people, the royals, and the gods. There are 3 kingdoms of different versions of life: the Life Kingdom, where he is from, the Time Kingdom, and the Heaven/Hell Kingdom. They are meant to represent the 3 stages of life: birth, aging, and the afterlife. They are all equally important, but the people tend to respect the Life Kingdom more because nothing else would exist without it. All 3 mothers with quote-unquote god status have left and are basically living in the Earth's core to keep it alive, and the demigods have to keep it working with their own kingdoms, watching from above. There's a weird system of royals that I will tell you about in a different video. Also, there's an important thing I should quickly mention too, that there's things called grace. That's basically a demigod's soul. There are 4 kinds too: being clean or nice, and not evil. This is usually light yellow or white. Being corrupted, which is evil and having bad intention. It's a reddish color. Having what's called Mother's Grace, which you get when your soul is said to change the way of the world at some point, that you belong to no kingdom, and it's purple. Which those people end up getting banished from the 3 kingdoms because they were too powerful after one of them killed a king of the Life Kingdom and messed up the timeline for a bit. This was the dinosaurs. And now it is illegal to be of Mother's Grace or corrupted. And the 4th is what the 3 mothers have. It's basically this kind of magic that can make a whole kingdom or stage of life. Nobody knew what they looked like, because the demigods were created as soon as the 3 mothers became one with the earth, until Faye. So basically that's a quick messy story of what's happened so far. I'll talk about the characters' importance as I'm drawing them. Faye's dad is a king of the Life Kingdom, but he got there by means of evil that ended up corrupting his grace. He was the youngest brother of 2 sons that were meant to rule the throne. However, he didn't want to be the brother to the king, and he wanted to be the king, since he thought that his brother was too soft and dumb to properly rule the throne. He also wanted to impress his father and have all the power. He ended up killing his brother right before he was to claim the throne and have his ceremony, where they would show their grace and prove that they were fit to rule by having clean grace. He caused a distraction and sneaked into his brother's room when he was sleeping. The people knew that his brother was dead, and they knew that he was the one who did it, since he was the only one that could have. But they couldn't get rid of him without proof, and their king was running out of time to rule. So at his ceremony, he faked his grace glowing a white color by means of very strong black magic. This proved that he was fit to rule, and that him killing his brother was a selfless act, but of course it was all lies. He enjoyed the power that he had and got cocky very quickly. He was a harsh king, but he knew that if he were to have a child, that it would have the same grace as him, even if it was a nice and innocent child. So he had to think quickly how to hide that his grace was tinted so that he could stay the king. So he ventured off to where the people with Mother's Grace live in a dark part of the universe and demanded to speak to their leader, who was Faye's mother. He told her that if she would carry his child, that she could help her people come back to civilization with the 3 kingdoms. She didn't believe him at first, so he promised her that if she did this and kept her mouth shut about him being corrupted, that he would promise her people to be accepted. And she took that chance and went with him. She carried 2 sons with him, and after the birth of her 2nd son, she asked him when he would take action and help her people. He then told her that it would never happen and that she couldn't have been more foolish. She, of course, was furious and said that he had promised her and that this is not what she had said yes to. He fought back, saying that what she had to do was done, giving birth to her 2 sons. If she dared say anything or act out of line, that he would send guards to kill all of her people, and that she knew that he was capable of doing so. She knew that he was right, and all that she could do now was stay with her children and hopefully save them from their father's ways. If anyone was confused, her father hoped that if he had a child with someone with Mother's Grace, that it would cancel out him being corrupted, and hopefully they would be clean, and he basically wouldn't get exposed. So right now you're watching his speed paint, and it's going pretty smoothly right now, but in the middle of the speed paint I lost a lot of footage because I thought that it was recording the speed paint on Procreate, but turns out I didn't turn it on. So then I realized later on that it wasn't, and I started screen recording the end of the drawing. But besides that bit, enjoy. Also, a small warning, it might flash a bit more because I made it go a bit quicker. Now, I just want to do an unfiltered, no script, explanation of what's really going on with his design, what I decide to do, the reason I did things, yada yada. So, the reason that I decided to make him in the quote-unquote normal outfit of what he would wear just normally around the kingdom, I decided to make him not wear his grace necklace. And I added that because in the storyline, his is corrupted, and he has to use magic to hide who he really is to stay the king. So I thought that he wouldn't wear it out in public. And people would think that would be weird, but he's the king and he can do whatever he wants. So I feel that's just a detail. With his stance and his facial kind of emotions, obviously he looks stone cold and really mean. I didn't want him to have much emotion showing because that's kind of how he is as this rude, kind of spiteful character. So I didn't make him smiling or really showing much emotion. I just made him kind of standing there more professionally in the royal outfit, but yeah. I also decided to make him tall, but he's still shorter than Faye and Faye's mother. And I don't know, I kind of thought that was funny. With his royal outfit, I really kind of struggled with what I wanted it to look like, because I knew that I wanted it to actually have some kind of old-fashioned royal aspect. I searched up a few photos, and then I just kind of came up with that. It was a bit difficult, but, I mean, in their kind of up above, in their kingdom, there really isn't a time zone. They know that, what modern day stuff is down on Earth, but I decided to make them all wear really old-fashioned kind of I don't know, I really just referenced a lot of their outfits off of BBC Merlin because I really love that show, and I love kind of old-fashioned kind of clothes like that, the strings. I add a lot of strings to outfits, and loose just fitted clothes and boots, and I love everything like that, so I just decided to make them have that kind of theme. Also, I just love drawing clothes like that, so For Faye's mom's design, I decided to name her Joan, and I really wanted to lean into that fact that for so long I've always thought that his mom is a very important part of his lore and stuff, and I really wanted to make it kind of emphasize that, like, he looks a lot like her. And Raphael, oh shit, spoiler. And Raphael, his brother, looks a lot like their dad, and it's kind of this parallel where their mom is good and she's nice and she cares about them, and their dad isn't, and he's evil and manipulative. And like, also a way that they run, kind of like how they run what they rule over, like her with the village and then him with the kingdom. I thought that like his mom would be very caring, and she appreciates and she takes care of all her people, besides Elin, who is just evil and he doesn't care about any of the people or like the repercussions of his actions. With her outfit, like before she met him, I wanted to make it kind of that wild, and like she kind of looks like a pirate, I'm not gonna lie. Like that aspect of her being free and wearing what she wants to, and like, you know, she's a woman but she still wears pants and like these shirts that the men do. But then in her outfit where she has to be in the kingdom, you know, she's wearing a skirt all of a sudden and no pants. She has like these boots on and a low cut shirt. Well, she had that before, but you get the point. Where I feel like there would also be this kind of like detail where Elin would, you know, push her to act normal, or like how the women of the kingdom would act. They had to put up this show of like, oh, they actually do love each other, or like they're okay being around each other when they very much hate each other. The detail I decided to put in her hair, the yellow scrunchie that matches her eyes, in the just headshot you can see that there's a bit of beads that are hanging off of it, and I feel like in the next video that's gonna be like a little hidden detail, and like that's gonna be brought up later, so just remember that. So like I really knew that I wanted her to look like this, like having this wild looking hair, like she always keeps it up all the time and out of her face, and I feel like that's because she was always in danger before, so she had to have it like out of her face, and she had to be awake, and like I don't know, I think it makes her look more mature, and I don't know, that's a factor that I knew I was gonna add eventually because I liked that idea of it. Also, I just want to bring up that the main photo that I used for reference for like how she actually would look in real life and not just the drawing is I was scrolling on Pinterest like looking for basically like female like face anatomy, and like trying to get an idea of what I wanted her to look like. And then I saw this one photo on Pinterest of Emmy Rossum. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm really sorry if it's not. I immediately recognized her from Phantom of the Opera, and I was just like, wow, like that's exactly what it's like in my head, with the kind of curly hair and the eyes and like her more slim face, and I was like, wow, I really love that. So just a heads up, while I was drawing this, that was like heavy reference from what she looks like. And I even used the pose from the photo that I found, which just made it kind of easier for me to draw what I thought it like looked like from the photo. So that is it. These these are my redesigns of both the parents of my OC Faye. Well, I've been thinking about doing this video for like a while, and I've been wanting to get down these ideas of like my OC's family and their parents, because I always talk about them like that, like, oh, this, that, like their dad, their mom, blah blah blah, but like I never really had something to show like, oh, this is what they look like. I mean, they turned out pretty good. I like them, and they really look like what I had in mind. So yeah, I wouldn't say this is that shabby of a video. For my next one, I just want to say that there's 4 people in the family, and then the next video is going to be about the 2 brothers. I don't really know when it's going to come out, but I still have to do Faye's. I've already done one of them, so hopefully it doesn't take that long. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I mean, feel free to give me criticism or anything you want to see in the future. I am completely open to new ideas. So, that'll be all. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good day.